it's Christine Bertram, and I am coming to live from the mini hive craft room here in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. So we're double dipping tonight because we have two classes at once. Diane had to reschedule her Let's Just Stamp from last week, Tuesday, to tonight, because if you recall, if you watched me last week for Framed Violets Stamp-A-Stack, we ended that with that it was potentially hailing outside. And so Diane made the executive decision to postpone class so that the ladies didn't have to come out in the bad weather. So she rescheduled for tonight. And normally I would just have ink, paper, scissors tonight down in the craft, in the hive. And so now I'm up here so that she can do class out there. So that works out really good that I've got this extra space up here. So we are going to be doing ink, paper, scissors, and it's featuring a stitched season. And that is a new suite that was launched in July as part of one of the online exclusive suites. And it is currently available. I don't know if everything from this suite is, so I guess we could pull that up and look at that really quick and see what's going on. So the suite itself is currently unavailable, but that is because there are two things that are out and two that are on low inventory. Wow. Okay, so you guys might want to look at this in case you're interested, but the suite itself is called a Stitched Season Suite, and it has a Stitched Season Designer Series paper. It has the adhesive backed mini Christmas, mini Christmas buttons. So we've got that. And then, so those are out, and I can look to see when they're coming back. But then the ribbon that is in this suite is this one that you have in your kit. So you guys got these buttons in your kit, and you got the ribbon in your kit. So that's great. But it's if you wanted more of the designer series paper or to get the bundle along with it, then you might be needing to get these things. They're on low inventory, and then the paper is out at the moment. So yeah, but that's what we're working with. So I will show you the cards that we're going to be making so you guys know what's going on. We're going to be making these. So if you're a quilter or a crafter, a sewer, these cards might be right up your alley because they are very quilt-like to me. And I designed these cards with Kelly sometime in July, and she's going to be teaching the in-person version tomorrow night, and then I am teaching you guys tonight. So I also, as long as I have the camera down, I want to share with you what is coming up for ink, paper, scissors. So, I said that wrong. We have ink, paper, scissors tonight. But what I want to share with you, hottest off the press that you can even imagine, we finished designing the escape today. So we have an autumn creative escape coming up next month. It's going to be 4 in-person days. You can pick one of the in-person days, or if you can't make it in person, that's okay. You could do the online version and get your box mailed to you. And we didn't just go with 9 card kits and a 3D project. The ladies, I asked them last week what they would rather have, and my in-person attendees that normally attend classes with me, they voted for, I said, your option is 10 cards and a 3D project, or would you rather have 12 cards and no 3D project? So they all said they would rather have cards and no 3D project, and that's okay because we are going to have creative presentations, 8 creative presentations, and there are going to be some 3D projects as part of those creative presentations for you to get inspiration for 3D projects. So they voted for 12 cards, and we just finished, Diane and I finished the last 2 this morning, which means we officially finished designing for the escape. And I bet if I asked you guys if you want to see them, you're going to say yes. So while I see if you guys want to see them, I'm going to say hi to a couple people that are here right now with me. Hi, Susan Bellamy. And there's Kimberly Snow. Hi, Sarah Merchant. And Faye Gobby's with us. Hello, Connie Moore. And Debbie Gass. Hi, Catherine Healy. And we have Diane Bush is with us. Hi, Kari Dwyer. And Donna Gershke. Hi, Randy Schultz. And there's Wanda. Yay. Hi, Doris Smunson. Lori's here. And we have Maria Gilbertson, yay, and Jeanette, and Sherry Stewart, full of ideas. I appreciate all your ideas. I'll talk to Kelly. I shared those ideas with Kelly, so I got a game plan and strategize with her. We're trying to get Kelly over the hump for Costa Rica, you guys. We got I just looked at her numbers. She's 4,500 away yet. And so we've got about a month and a week to make that happen. Hi, Gwen Petroshek. Yay! I'm so excited to see you with me too. It's been a little while since I saw you. Hi, Sarah Mitchell. And there's Chris Robinson. And everybody's saying yes, 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 yes. Okay. So, hi, Sherry Johnson from North Central Minnesota. So, well, how the escape works. You guys, I've been doing these escapes since 2019. And so this is going on full. So if it's, I started in 2019. So it's all of 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. And we're in the year 2026. So, and we're winding down. So I've done 8 full years. Oh, I don't even know how that's even possible. That seems like just yesterday that I started doing them. But I started my first one, it was the January of 2019 or something. Yeah, it was January 2019. So I've had 8 full years of escapes. And we only started off in the beginning doing January ones, which were the winter ones. Then we built in the autumn escape, which sometimes was called the summer escape. But then when they kind of settled on the catalog launching in September, now they're called autumn escapes. And then we added in Stampin' Fun in the Sun, I think 3 or 4 years ago. So crazy. Okay, so with this, you guys, it's a big event that we do every autumn, and it's usually in September now. And there's going to be, so if you're not local to me, you don't have to be present on the days that we do the event. You can make this event be whenever you want it to be. You can watch all the presentations when you want. You can watch and make your cards when you want. So it's basically an event that you can set it up at your speed. And during those 4 days, though, we have there's two presentations. One is pre-recorded. The morning one is pre-recorded, and then the afternoon one is live. So that makes for 8 creative presentations. I have displays of every suite except for 2 right now. If there's anybody in my community that would love the opportunity to put together a display for me, reach out to me. I have 2 left. I have Mosaic Garden and I think Neutral Noel. But the other, I think 10 or 9, I don't know if there's 11 or 12 suites, but there will be displays. So lots of creativity and ideas for that. And we also have a fun fold swap, but we've closed that now because we needed to get those numbers out to people. And then what the best part is the make and takes. So Diane and I designed, and with the help of Kelly did sneak in for 3 of these. We designed 12 cards featuring lots of designer paper, ribbon, and gems. And the concept is that they're from July online exclusives, September online exclusives, and then the September through December mini catalog. So it's a lot of the brand new product. And we got them. So hi, Holly. So I'll flip down so you guys can see what we've got planned for you. And for the first time ever, not every single card is going to be featured in an upcoming class. So this is an event where I call it double dipping, where we'll design a card and then we will, we'll use it for the event and another class. Well, in this case, we've got some of that, and we've got somewhere, this is the only event that you'll see this card being offered at. So yeah, pretty cool. So we featured the sunflowers here, and we really designed these in a way that you guys don't have to have all these stamps right off the bat. You really, like I say, buy what you love, use what you have. You have sentiments at home? Great, that's what you need. Whatever you would have that would fit into certain areas. So we got the sunflowers. We have the painted patch, I think, or painted pumpkin, I think, or pumpkin patch, painted patch maybe. And again, just a sentiment and some background. You have, these are part of the designer paper. So you get a $50 goodie bag with this event, and that includes ribbon, gems, and embellishments. Ribbon, designer series paper, and embellishments. I think I said that right now. Okay, so this is Mosaic Garden. And for this one, though, you would need some sort of a floral image. You'll get a piece of white paper, and then you can stamp on it what you want. And so we have the Mosaic Madness or Mosaic Garden. Here's one where all you need is love. No, sentiment. So really cool. You'll get those new embellishments that have the hollies and the berries. So that is from Scalloped Christmas, I think. And then it's all about the mice. And this is A Little Christmas. And again, this is designer paper that we designed with. And he's bringing the tree home. And this one is so excited to put the decorations up. And then a sentiment. And then we pulled in Elegant Leaves, which is so cool. Kelly loves fall, so I solicited her help for this one because I knew she would love putting a fall card together. So for this one, there is, it's a stamp set called Elegant Leaves, and you would need to have those stamps, or Kelly actually made her card slightly different. I have it here actually. So because I'm teaching class up here, I can share with you what Kelly did. So Kelly, let's pretend Kelly didn't have the stamps. Not everybody likes this technique, but she rumpled up her paper and made them look like the leaves were war-torn. So like crumpled up. And so you get two different concepts for the same card. So your leaves will be die cut for you, and you can just choose what you want. And if you don't have the leaf stamps that come with it, you could sponge the edges too, just to give it a different look. So yeah, so that's Elegant Leaves. And then we had the Dreamy Snowflakes. So pretty with that one. Some of this really pretty ribbon is amazing. These little gems are great. And then we made a Halloween card. So you'll never see this card anywhere except for in the Escape. So cool. To have that tree. We got lots of bats. It's spooky. Spooky. All right. Then what we featured tonight is called A Stitch Season. So we did a Stitch Season card. Again, it's different though than tonight. So you'll never see this card in any other class either. So we did that. We made sure I think maybe 4 or 5 of them are in other classes, and then the other 7 are not. So this one, again, we've already featured the the Violet Dreams with the Stamp-A-Stack, but here's another card with it to show you what else you can make. So fun. I think that little guy might have moved where he was from. All right, so that's the Violet Dreams. And then we have the Pine Cone set. I'm not sure if what is it called? Frosted Pine Cone. So cool. We did pull in a little retired product because as of right now, we just checked and the earthen foil is out of stock, but we had the card designed already and it was in stock when we designed it, and we had enough to do our die cutting, so we're leaving it because it makes the card amazing. So a little bit of that touched with some everything else current is amazing. And then last one, here's All Wrapped Up. We featured some of that new foil with this little bouquet in here. So this is the designer paper, and so all you need is a sentiment. So we did pretty good. Just a couple little floral images, if I'm not mistaken, between everything. So you don't have to worry about having a whole bunch of stamps. It was the leaves, and you could also do something else with those. But yeah, these are the 12 cards that you'll be making with the Autumn Creative Escape. So hello, Lori. All right. So I hope you like them. Now I am planning to do my showcase on Thursday. Thursday is, what day is Thursday? If today is the oh man, what is today? Today's the 25th. Well, you guys, I haven't looked at the calendar all day. I am not aware of what day it is today. We'll have to look at that really quick. The 24th. Okay. For a moment, I'm like, is it the 24th or is it the 25th? I knew it was one of those. So tomorrow's the 25th. And then the 27th must be on Thursday. So at 4 p.m. on Thursday, Central Standard Time, I'm going to be doing the September class showcase. And I'm a little bit sad to say September because I'm not ready for the fall, because I still love the summer weather that we're having. It just cooled off a little bit, so it's not so ding-dong hot. And but we have to say September. So on Thursday afternoon, I'll be showing off all those cards again and talking through the Escape. And we'll go through the core classes. And I know you guys are going to say yes if I ask this too. Do you need a Halloween set for the trees, or is that DSP? It is DSP. Whoop, whoop. Okay. Yeah, definitely. That Halloween card, that is the DSP, and you will get that DSP in your goodie bag, and it will be cut for you as a gift from me as we cut your DSP for this event. For the Palooza, we don't cut your DSP, but for the Escapes, I cut your DSP for you. So I bet if I asked you guys if you wanted to see what we have started for the Palooza, you would say yes, because Diane and I started working on the Palooza today. And we have, I don't know if you can see back here, that that table there, it's all full of stuff. And there's 14 different cards laid out over there, and we got 3 done. So we already know as of today that the Fall Palooza, which is going to be offered in October and November, you could pick either month, is going to have 17 cards. Lots of different designer. We're going to try to feature all the designer paper. With the Escape, we didn't try to, it's too much to do all of them, to feature all the designer paper. So we went with the ones that we did. But I do have 3 cards I will show you if you want to see them. And I know you're going to say yes. So let me just see where they are. They're right here. Oh my God. Okay. So when we designed for the Palooza, these cards are exclusive to the Palooza too. They don't get double dipped into anything else. And so Lori asked, where do I find time for yourself? Well, you know what I just did? I just got back from yoga. So I started doing yoga about 3 weeks ago, and I try to go 2 to 3 times, 4 times. Like I ramped up. I was doing 2 and then 3, and now this week I have it on the calendar for 4 times. And yoga, you guys, was from 4:30 to 5:30, and I was back here at 5:45, grabbed all my stuff together, and I was 5 minutes tardy. But I had to make sure I got to yoga, because if I don't go to yoga, I'm not stretching, and I'm not doing what I need for my body. So I've been doing yoga for myself, which is very good. Okay, so let me flip this back down and show you guys. So this is the first one we did. And so again, you're going to see lots of this paper repeating, but not the same card design. So this is the painted pumpkin that we did, and we pulled in some of that new glimmer paper here in the Cajun Craze. Or it's either Cajun or Calypso Coral, but either way it works with the card. So again, just the sentiment. No, that's designer paper, so no focal images. This one's so cute. Oh my God, I love this one. Look at it, it's so cute. Okay, I'm really excited about this one. I'm so proud of this card because you would never think to put this paper. I feel like this card is not out there until right now, into the universe. So you guys can case it all you want. It's all good. I love it. So I have to just share. So when I saw the paper, this is how the paper comes, right? It's a 6x6 sheet like this, okay? And I'm going to teach you how to make this piece of paper become this card. And that's what's cool about doing this event, is that I help you get through all of that. So I just love how this up here, so like on here, it looks like his hair, but it really looks like the pumpkin's hair. And then he's got a little goatee coming out down here. And then we put some of these adorable little bats on here. So I'm super proud of this card. Absolutely love it. You definitely want to have your Stella pen, because I don't know if you can see on I Stellaed this whole area. So it's cool. Okay, so that's number 2. Hello, Jennifer Adams from Florida. And you know us. I know you so well. Yes. And then we got the sunflower card done. So we have a little Velcro dot over here. And then when you open this up, so it's like a little gatefold. And if you have guessed, you're seeing a wreath back here and some leaves. So one of your prize patrols for the Palooza is going to be those accents. They come on 2 sheets that look like this. And what we've done is we pulled all these pieces out, and we're going to make 17 cards. Well, I think it ends up being 14 cards plus 3 other cards, but 17 cards are going to use up all these die cut. And those are part of they're like the accents that we did for the last Palooza. So super, super amazing. So we've got lots of wreaths coming your way, but different styles. We have Christmas ones, we have fall ones, and then flowery ones. And so, yeah, so this is the start of the Palooza. Again, the Palooza is another event that I do. I don't offer it in person per se, but I do give in my local community the option of coming in person to stamp their stuff. I set all my stamps up at stations, and then they come and stamp, and then they can put their cards together later, because that's generally how we do local stuff, is that people like to come here and do their stamping. Otherwise, they don't always get it done. So I have the Summer Palooza is coming up, where they're going to come and do their stamping next week, I think. So, all right. Hello, Kathy Booker. And you guys say they're cute. Good. Okay. So tomorrow we're going to be doing some more designing for the Palooza, and then we're going to wrap up the Palooza designing next week. I think between Monday and Tuesday, we should have all 17 cards designed, which is amazing. Then we're going to switch gears and start designing for October while we prepare for the Autumn Creative Escape, it will all be over, because today's the 24th, and the event next month is the 18th, 19th, 20, and 21. So about a month from now, all of the hooting and the hollering will be all past us. So crazy. So I was just talking to my mom and dad on the way home from yoga, and they said to me, isn't it crazy? Because I went to Shipshewana, Indiana with my mom and dad. We did a little trip. My dad drove my mom and I down to Shipshewana, and he carted us all over the place. It was really adorable. And he just waited in the car, or he went in and he waited inside while we did our shopping and the normal stores that we like to visit. And we went to the farmers, what was it? The auction, not the auction, the flea market. They have a huge flea market down there, and so he waited in the car for us. And my mom said, "Isn't it crazy that that was the 24th of July when we went down, and it was a whole month ago?" So it's crazy how July for me went relatively normal speed, like not ludicrous speed, and August seemed to go like super ludicrous speed. If you guys have never seen Spaceballs, that is a ludicrous speed is from Spaceballs, but like it's when they go fast, really fast, and it's called we're in ludicrous speed. So anyways, hello Cindy Nicolosi. I hope you're enjoying your new apartment. It's been a few months since we chatted, and I know you had just moved, so I hope that it's all going well for you in your new crafting area. All right, so you guys are liking the card, so that's good. It's not too late to get signed up for either of those events. If you guys are getting emails from me, I'll just put this out here. If you're getting emails from me, I generally put stuff at the tail end of emails so that if you don't know where to look for things, if you don't get emails from me, for one thing, you should start getting emails if you don't mind getting emails from me. I have a website. It's called cardsbycrispy.com. If you go there, you can sign up for mine. And what happens is I send emails about upcoming classes. Like I forgot to send this email back in the beginning of August, and here it is today, and I just caught it. So I got to send this out. So we still have plenty of card kits available for this class because I think maybe I forgot to email about it, but we have plenty. But if you go all the way down past all the information, I always have a section called Navigation Station. And it's right here. It says navigation station. What, where, when, how much, right? So I have a lot going on, and sometimes that's overwhelming for people, and I get that. And then as soon as they hang out with me for a little bit, then they realize that they get into tune with what's going on, and it's not so overwhelming. But down here is where I have different things like the Connect and Grow demo training. Click here. The Autumn Creative Escape. Click here. Fall Paper Palooza. Click here to register because I don't have the event created yet. If you still want to get in on Stampin' Fun in the Sun, that was a couple months ago, click here. The new September through December OE DSP sampler, here. You want to participate in the Radically Retro Swap Party? Boom, there it is. Stampin' on the Seas with me? Here it is. So this is usually up to date with like the most important and most relevant things. Okay, so that's one thing. The other thing is if you do go to my website, and you go to the resources tab. That's where I have a lot of announcements and what's going on. So you guys can see that. I did email, thank goodness. I have some of the gals on my team, Catherine Healy and Susan Wormley, have been helping me amazingly a lot. It's great. Oh, I'm so like weight off the shoulders. And so good, big kudos to both of them. So Susan helped me write the Framed Violet Stamp-a-Stack, and that was emailed out to everybody this afternoon. Yay! And then Catherine helped write the Let's Just Stamp, and that was from last week. So we got our two oldest, they were only a week past due, but we got them out, and we're going to stay on top of it now. So we have to give Jolene a little bit of grace. She's going through some family struggles, I believe, and we need to lighten her load so that she can focus on what she needs to focus on. And so Catherine and Susan have stepped up to help me, and it's amazing that we can keep things flowing. So Susan also helped me get Clue 1 for Mystery Card done, which we postponed and moved out to next week, Monday. So boom, that's ready to go. And Catherine just finished writing the Ink, Paper, Scissors tutorial for today. So anybody who's doing class with me tonight, it's in my inbox. I need to proofread it, and then I'm going to send it off to Karen Wetstein for proofreading, and then Karen will send it back, and then I'll get it out to you guys tomorrow. Yay. And then Catherine's going to start working on the Lily of the Valley, and then we have the technique class. So we got a little bit legged up with August, but the great news is as long as Catherine is good with it, she's going to continue to help me write them, and we have everything designed and ready to go for September. So my goal for September is that I am back on track with sending out the tutorials by the 4 days in advance. That's always my goal, is to send out a Thursday night class. I send out the tutorial on Monday. That is always my goal from day one. But you know how that goes. So we do the best that we can with what we're given. So, but anyways, back to this. I have those announcements there. And if you go down here a little bit further, you can find out about the Fall Palooza here. The Connect and Grow is in here. And you can also see that the Autumn Creative Escape is in here, and the Stampin' in the Seas. So some of this stuff, the more important and relevant stuff, I've got that in the resources section at the top. Is called Announcements and What's Up. It's right at the top of where the resources are and above where past classes are. So that's on my website. And if you're curious about the signing up for emails from me, just look for me in the yellow shirt, and it's right down there where they sign up for email. So just a little bit, because you guys, believe it or not, it's pretty amazing. I still have new people that are catching me for the first time that are reaching out to me, and they're curious how things work. And so I like to give everybody that little bit of information. So Debbie just printed the violet one. Perfect. So Debbie, if you find anything, or anybody, you guys, we do our very best to send the very best in terms of tutorials, and we're human. And so if we miss something or spell something wrong, or you find something that doesn't look right and it seems like it should get updated, still let me know. I love to make things perfect. Trust me, I am a type A and I like things precise. I've learned to say done is better than perfect, but I still strive for perfect. So if you guys ever find anything that's off in a tutorial, don't hesitate to reach out to me. It's really crazy because I pulled up a tutorial from November of last year, and it still had some yellow highlighting in it. And normally yellow highlighting was Jolene's cue to me to check it out and update it. And so I looked at it and everything was good. I just never took the yellow highlighting off. So I updated that, fixed it, and re-uploaded it into the Inspiration Hive, because it's just got to be how it is. So hello, Karen Wetstein. Hi, Jean Terwilliger. Jean Terwilliger loves the Spaceball reference. So when I was younger, my brother Mike made me watch Spaceballs all the time. And I have to say that I probably watched it over 25 times in the course of my life. And so there's lots of one-liners from there that I will still use because they're funny. I just used one today with Diane. Honey was swishing her tail in front of Diane. And I said, Barf, like, watch where you're swinging that tail. And Barf goes, it has a mind of its own. What am I supposed to do? Right? Because he has a tail. Because he's a pog, a half dog, a cog, or whatever. He's like half cat, half dog. So anyways, yes, good stuff. So back on track, you guys. So thank you for your grace. Thank you for your patience. One of my gals was telling me that she's learned to be patient with me, and I appreciate that, because I am definitely 110% patient with everybody too, and that's just how it goes. It doesn't hurt to be patient and kind with everybody, and then we just continue to make cards, and life is good. So I think we've gone over that stuff. Today is Monday, which is really weird for me to be doing a live on a Monday night, but it is. We're going to do ink, paper, scissors tonight. And then I am doing an event with Jody Breckbill and Catherine Carroll. It's called Connect and Create. I am a guest presenter, and it has challenged me more than I'd like to admit, because I fly by the seat of my pants, and that's not how it really works with other people when they're hosting events. You have to be a little bit more disciplined and read the rules. And so I have to redo a video, and we're doing a question and answer hot seat interview tomorrow. And all of that will be available to people who participate. And they're selling tickets for this event. That's how they're saying it, that you can get tickets. And I'm one of the presenters, and Chris Robinson is one of the presenters. Linda, they're all over the United States, right? So, and the world, I should say. I think there's 5 or 6 of us. And then I think Jackie Bolheis is doing a presentation from a business perspective. So there's 5 creative presentations offering you guys demonstrators. This is for Stampin' Up demonstrators, offering classes and then training materials. So tickets go on sale on Friday, and I have an affiliate link. So if you purchase your tickets through me, I get credit for it, which is amazing, and I appreciate that so much. So be on the lookout, because I am going to, in the next day, send an email out to my entire community. So this is another reason, if you get emails from me, then you can see these kind of things. If you're a demonstrator looking for ideas on what kind of classes you can do in your own business, either online or in person, or if you're looking to get ideas on your business, you could get some nuggets and information. And I think the tickets are only $57, if I'm not mistaken. And there's something like that, you guys. Again, I'm late to the party on this because I'm working on a lot of other things, like 2 other major events that I'm doing myself. So I probably overcommitted myself, but it's okay. We always get through it. So I just want to make you guys aware that that's what I'm working on too, and just watch for information. So if you want to just stay with your eyes and ears open for it, okay? So that is what's on my docket a lot for tomorrow with Designing with Diane. And then on Wednesday, on Wednesday, if you're on my team, the Be Happy Stampers, just remember that we're having a Zoom meeting to go over compensation plan changes for leaders on my team on how we can best strategize not losing the Be Happy Stampers down to whatever level we may have, right? So that, again, is on Wednesday at 10 Central, so don't forget about that for my team members. And then we'll be back with you guys. What will be Thursday is the showcase. So I'll be back with you guys at 4 o'clock on Thursday. And the other thing too, on Wednesday afternoon, we have share a recipe, create a card, inspire others at 2 o'clock. So we've got lots of live time with you again this week. So very good. Hi, Barbara Godby. And thanks for the reminder, Faye. We appreciate that. So, all right, I'm going to get started with you guys. Now that I've talked your ears off for the last 20 minutes, 25 minutes, I've put Honey to sleep. She's over on the chair here doing her thing. I want to do roll call really quick because I want to say thank you to everybody who signed up to take this class with me. And without them buying kitted classes from me, I wouldn't be designing classes like I am. Because I have so many people taking classes with me, it encourages me to keep designing and kitting and creating for you guys. And then from that, there's a YouTube video that everybody gets to enjoy. And so a big shout out to everybody who took this class with me. Thank you so much. And also, if you are seeing this class and didn't know it was available, if I don't say your name and you think you signed up for the class, please reach out to me. I have about 20 kits left. And if you didn't sign up but you want this class now, I'd be more than happy to save you a set. I can either mail it out right away this week, or I can hold it and put it in with a September package if you have something going out in September. So, yay. All right, so first on our list, and I'm not going to forget to say your name, Connie, but Connie Moore is always #1 in the book because she told me back in December to put her name on the list for all of the rest of the year, and also Miss Susie Fentlater did as well. So Susie, you're next, and then Kathy Dolly Nagari, Angelique Schaefer, Barbara Godby, Carmen Melendez, Kathleen Ketterman, Chris Robinson, Annette Rollin, Debbie Gast, Debbie Stone, Denise Lewis, Donna Grushke, Donna Rose, Doris Munson, Faye Godby, Francis Rodriguez. We have Janine Folland, Julie Bontranger, Karen Mikowski, Karen Woods, Karen Wetstein, okay, Kathy Showalter, Kelly Gibson, Kimberly Snow, Laura Sullivan, Leslie McMinn, Linda Hunt, Linda Rios, Linda Scott, Lisa LaFramboise, Lisa Mullis, Lori Baxter, Mary Novak, Nancy, Fancy Nancy Billets, Nina Germany, Patty Wright, I think I had Nina's name spelled wrong in here, so I gotta just update that. Okay, Patty Wright, Feline Mays, Phyllis Oderman, Rosie Prouty, Sandy Coy Emery, Sarah Merchant, Sherry Everett, Susan Bellamy, Susan Devine, Trisha Fagley, Vanessa Ritter, Vicky Rodriguez, Wanda Zerman, Julie Bierschbach, Catherine Healy, Becky Gandolfo. Yay! So a bunch of you are here, and I appreciate that you're along for the ride tonight. Hi, Sherry Ott. And it's so crazy that I got mine all in alphabetical order, so it actually felt like we were in school and I was doing roll call and you guys were in alphabetical order for the most part. So Lori says, Thelma and Louise are napping too, so they can play prowl all night long. That is exactly what the cats do. They sleep all day and prowl all night. So a bunch of you gals are here already, which is awesome. So we'll come back to the book to do the door prize drawing later. Okay. So let's get started. So for those that got class with me, you would have gotten in your goodie bag the roll of ribbon and these buttons, the Christmas buttons. And then also we've got your 4 card kits in here with a golden ticket. The QR codes go for oh, that's what I gotta remember to do. So I need to move the LJS and IPS to the folders so they are in there, right? So that if you guys use the QR code, I can't forget to do that. It's part of the process that just switched for August and I haven't gotten it ingrained in my head yet. So QR code for the YouTube video, QR code for the PDF tutorial. I know that this is not in here because I just got it back. So just a reminder for that. Then you guys are gonna have your quarter pack of designer series paper. So just know that you're going to have 2 sheets of each of them. And we'll go through and pull out the ones that we need in a hot second here. I don't know if we really used this one, so we'll put that one towards the bottom. And got that, and I used that. So let me go grab the full sheets. I think I have the full sheets right here. And, yeah, right here. So, thought as long as I'm up here in my space where I have the full sheets, I might just share. See, this is what we're planning for the Palooza. We're going to use this sheet because we didn't use this sheet for this class. We thought, oh, it'll be great to use it. So these are some of these wreaths and these die cuts that you're going to get from doing the Palooza. So this is the full sheet. And when you look at it this way, it's like this. And the blue snowflake one looks like that. That we've already looked at, which is this one. And then there's the holly. Full sheet looks more like that. And then the red sheet looks like this. So it's got different styles of trees. We have old olives, we have the pines, and we have the mixture of old olive and pine. And then there's the plaid one. This plaid sheet has this on the back. So you've got cardinals, you've got trees of different, that one's pine, that one's olive with pine. You've got different presents with different greens mixed in them. You've got you got the wreaths, and they're slightly different too. Like that one has polka dots, that one has flowers, and then this one doesn't have either. And then there's just these solid patterns, which are the patterns of the DSP. There's a sheet here with candy canes. And the candy canes, that one has the bird. Bird is the word. So you've got your cardinals going on. So, yeah, I think that's almost all of them. So I just thought I'd share all those bigger size sheets with you so you know what's going on. Yeah, so so the fronts are busy, let's say, and then the backs are a little more subtle. So let's see here. Let's put this back over here and let's pull out the cards. So just a reminder, keep your golden tickets with your card kits until you make the cards, or keep them with the samples. It doesn't matter, however, but these QR codes are going to be really great for you to have. Okay, so let's look at the 4 cards that we're going to make. So this one features the snowflake paper. So let's just pull that with this card. And then this one here features this red. It features, where'd you come from? Okay, it features the green and the tree. The tree is going to be the most instrumental thing. This one right here, you can see that features this bird one is here, as is this red piece. Okay, so we got to kind of keep one of these over here. And there might be enough if we do this plus this out of one sheet, but we'll get there when we can. Then let's look here. This holly one goes over here. And the bird, these guys, they go on this one. So let's move this one of these over here, and then this one goes over here. We're going to be careful cutting that because we want to make sure we get these things out first. And then this one is the pattern that we didn't really use on any of the cards, and that's not normal. Normally, we do try to use a sheet at least once, regardless of which side. We try to use it at least once, and we didn't struggle bus it, and we let it go. We were okay with it. So let's start with the easiest one first. The easiest one first to me is going to be the stocking. So, and we do love our 16ths around here. And I know that as you've been watching me, you might have gotten a little bit better with working with 16ths. But what happens is, if you don't like 16ths, you could always do a hair bigger or a hair smaller. So my number is 3 13/16 by 5 1/16. But if you want to go down to 5 by 3 3/4, you're just going to see a bigger white margin. And if you want to go up to 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, that's okay too. You're just going to see less of a white margin. I have found, since Naughty Nancy, I used to do that 16th margin all the way around, and Naughty Nancy had the hardest time gluing, and she said, why can't you just have a little bit bigger of a margin? Well, that's when we ended up doing a 3/16 margin, which gives you this kind of a margin. Okay, but regardless, so we have 3 13/16, which is go to the 4, so it's 4 less 3 tick marks. And so you go to the 4 and you bring it back 3 tick marks. And then what happens is you're left with this. And we can use this for our envelope flap. Then rotate your paper and go to 5 plus 1 tick mark. So 5 plus 1 is 5 1/16. And then what happens is you have this piece left over. And you can use that along the bottom for the inside of your card if you want. Okay, so 1 and done for this one. 1 cut, you've got, well, I'm sorry, it's 2 cuts, but 2 cuts and you're done. Okay, so I'm gonna set that off to the side. You can make other pretty things with this, right? So save that for later in life. And now let's go to A and W. Just kidding. Let's look at this one right here. So we need to find a cardinal, all right? So you should have between, so you got 2 sheets like this. Between the 2 sheets, I'm crossing my fingers and praying that you have a cardinal right in the middle, because if you guys remember when I first looked at the DSP, mine were twisted like this, right? So what we did is we took the paper and we rotated it. So one sheet was going this way and one was going this way. So I don't have a bird that will work so well in this one, but I have a bird that will work right here, okay? And that bird is this one, because if you look at this, you have the trees on the side and that at the top, and it gets cut here, it got cut here, it got cut in the middle here, and it got cut here. So, and if you don't have a cardinal, what you're going to end up with is using whatever bird you have in the middle. So in this case, I have a red bird, and I have, I don't know, somebody tell me what the type of bird this is. So if this bird is the gray bird, you would put a gray bird here. And I think that it would still look really pretty, even though it's not a cardinal. And I know how we feel about cardinals. We absolutely love our cardinals because they are a remembrance that somebody that has gone before us is around in our lives when they're flying around. So you're going to definitely pick whichever bird you prefer. And the thing is, so Connie's saying she loves the back of the paper. So I'm wondering if you're referring to one of these 2 patterns, Connie. I'm betting you are. So, all right. So this is candy canes on the back, and we didn't use the candy canes anywhere else. So when you go to cut this, I don't even know the measurement per se, except for, and I'm sure we wrote it down on here. There was probably a measurement for it, but you really are just trying to cut here and there, right? So just line that up where your blade is. And I just put in a brand new blade, and I'm so happy because it cuts so nicely. So don't cut off that green border. You want to make sure you save it. So we're going to cut that off, and this one. And these are scraps that you can use for something else later. And then now you want to make sure you get this and this. So again, if you're doing the gray bird, it's the same concept. Just one of your, you should have the option of 2 birds. They might be both gray, they might be both cardinals, or they might be one of each. So you're just cutting these off, and this is what you're trying to save. And that should be what fits on the front here. Now for this is used on this card, and it's used on the next card. So the next one is 1 1/2 that we need, and this one is 3 13/16. Again, you guys, if you want to go up or down, you can. The perfect thing is on that the height is 5 1/16 on both of them. So you can figure out, so these little, what are they even? They're like 5 little dots. They're kind of going horizontal like this, and to me, they're going up and down. I like them better going horizontal, but if you like them going up and down, right, just make sure you cut the paper the way you want it. So for this one, I want it horizontal, and I know my height is 5 1/16. Again, if you need to go up or down, you can. If you like to do 5 or 5 1/8, however you want to do it. But for me, it's 5 plus a tick mark. So we're going to go to 5 plus a tick mark. And then you're going to rotate it. For this one, it's 3 13/16. So that's 4 minus 3 tick marks. So 4 less 3. Right? So that's for this one. But then we just said for the other card, we need 1 1/2. So here's the deal, though. For this one, I ended up having them be going up and down, more vertical. If that doesn't bother you one way or another, like this is too skinny, so you can't really use that. This one, you could use it. They would just be going horizontal. And if it really bothers you and you really want them going vertical, just dip into the next piece here, but don't do that quite yet. We want to figure out the next card before you do that. So And I should have reversed one moment because I just realized for this one, there is a tree here. This guy. We should have looked at that first. We're already cut here, so we're committed. But we haven't cut this one yet. So you guys, before you cut this red piece, check your trees. Because you might, there's different trees, right? So this one is a pine one. This one's old olive with pine. That one's old olive. And we also have the same concept here where you have to grab it from this middle section. So if you want that tree, and this, okay, let's say you want that tree, it's not going to work because you have an edge here. And I don't remember if this came off of which side here. This must have come off of over here, right? So let's say you wanted that tree. It's not going to work because you need your margin. So you're either going to, when you put these sheets out in front of you, pick which tree you want. It's got to be the one that's in the middle here or a middle here. And you want to cut that tree out of that piece first. And then you're going to come to the other piece. And then you can cut out this mat. And then you can decide what you want here. Now, I already cut this. So I've committed myself to using this piece for this, which is fine. I'm okay with that. And then this piece, I can use this for over here. I'm okay with that. But before I commit to that, let me just see what happens when I cut this apart. So I want to make sure I'm cutting right on that line here. And I'm going to be cutting on that line there. And I'm going to cut the vertical first. So this is a little harder to eyeball. Because I got to line up that track with this. Let's just see if that works. And I might have cut off a hair, but that's okay. But this now is too skinny for there, so that's fine. So now flip it over. You're going to line up on here as well. Let's see if that's right. And then, now let's flip it this way. You have to eyeball the track. Maybe not that much, right there. Okay. And then turn this one around and eyeball it this way. Okay, so now we have the tree, which is great, and we have this piece left over, and we have this piece left over, and if you can see, these are the ones going vertical, and these are the ones going sideways. Now that you have this, it doesn't matter which one you take it from, figure out which one you like better. Now, I still personally like it sideways, so the sideways, so I'm going to cut this at 1.5, and that's going to be my piece for over here. Okay, so these go to the scrapyard right here and this one. And then you need a piece for over here. But before we cut this one, we have to be aware of what we need here. Okay, so we're done with this one now. So we can set the, are we though? Yes, we are. Okay, that's a card on a card. So that can go over here. So before we cut the pretty platy paper here, we need to find our things from the bird, the tree, the present, and the wreath. So we are not keeping these side pieces, right? So we could take this bird, we can take this tree, we can take this wreath, and we can take that present, all from this sheet. And then we might have enough left over here for, nope, it's gonna be too skinny, but that's fine. We still have this piece, so we'll come back. So let's, as long as we're on this one, we did not save these little side things. The beige-ish color, cream vanilla. So let's cut this off. All right, and then we're gonna cut the tree off and the present. Then you can flip that. No measurements. This is just using your eyeballs and lining up. So there's our little present. And then we have to cut this off the tree, the top. Oh, I have a new blade on here and it is fabulous. It was overdue. All right, so these, you can save these for other things, but there's our tree. And then what's left over here going to do the same thing with the bird, and the wreath. So we'll, again, I think that's too skinny, but this could potentially be used for an envelope flap. So let's save that. And then we'll go this way. And then we'll get our bird out of here next. Hi, Mary Lemke. How are you, my friend? So we've got our bird here. And then next is the wreath. And right there. So we've got all of our little pieces here for the next card. You've got some extra little scraps here that you can add to the scrap yard. And for the last card, I just realized that if you went with the horizontal ones, you could use this for your envelope flap. So we're going to put that back over here. All right, so then we've got 2 pieces left to cut. This plaid piece is a 5 1/16 by 2 1/2. So we'll do the 2 1/2 first, which leaves this whole chunk, which is great for a card, another nice piece. If you wanted to, you could have paid attention to the back and cut it a certain way, but I didn't pay attention. So 5 + 1 tick mark is 5 1/16. So now we've got the pieces for here. And we have an envelope flap if we want to use that. And then the last one here is this sheet. Okay, so 3 13/16, so it's going to the 4 minus 3 tick marks. This can be your envelope flap. Twist your paper, and it's 5 + 1 tick mark, which is 5 1/16. And then what happens is this could be your inside bottom if you want. Okay, so we made it do. I guess the most important things that you need to be aware of if you're just joining in, checking to make sure you get one of the trees, which you have 2 options, and then one of the birds, and it's either going to be the gray bird or the cardinal. Okay, other than that, everything else should be smooth sailing. And what we'll do is we'll look at our card kits and see which one is under the golden ticket, and we'll do that one first. Hello, my friend Becky Gandolfo. I'm glad you caught me. All right, I do have my name on here because there's something special with my kit. Whenever it comes to kitting, if there's something that is not right or it is awry, then they give it to me and they like me to show you how I would fix it. Not that it's not going to work. It's just there's something like a little off with it. It's cut bad or it's ripped, and usually I can finagle things. So this is our stocking one, which is the one that we cut first. So we're going to want to grab this. And we have our pieces out here. And so it's the stocking one. So what happened is they said, so we have our little red, you know what? I didn't even show you guys the dies. I didn't even show you the stamps yet. Oh my goodness. Here's the stitch stocking. And let me go grab the dies. They're over here. I'm pretty certain they're over here. Honey. Cutie patootie baby. Hi, little lady. Okay, so these are the dies. And they're not all in here because I have some of these out already with helpers for other things. But this guy right here, and then there's this really cool topper. It's for the stocking. But what happens is that we've been using this as a label, even though it's the stocking topper. And there's a lot going on in here. Lots of these little guys to make your quilting looking cards, I guess you could say, for scientific words. And this is a nice little label too. But this is the stocking we used, and we cut it very strategically. So those are the stamps and the dies. So this one has a small tear. Okay, so let's see here. So when they gave it to me, it came like this. You can see I got it like this. But the great thing is, that tear is actually gonna get covered up here. So I'm gonna be able to use that. So we wouldn't give you guys it looking like that, but if this happens and you are afraid to use it, it's still usable. I just like to show that to you. That will make it work. Hi, Bridget Rowe. All right, so in here you got, oh, there's a lot of white. Okay, so you can see there's a label for your sentiment. This is the top of the stocking here. Okay, and then you can see we cut a stocking, and there's a hole here. We were very strategic. We cut this out of here, and that's great because you won't even see that when you go to cover that up. And then that goes there. And then you can see here, we actually cut the whole stocking out of the basic white mat, which gets covered up. So it was really a three-for-all. Like all that white, if you're pretending you're the dies, that went on the machine like that dyed it, and then this one went right through the middle. So cool. That's we're strategic like that. We try to be anyways. Okay, then we also have in our kit, I'm trying not to break that apart. We have that. In here you have a white and a cherry cobbler. So this is ink, paper, scissors. For those classes, ink, paper, scissors, we double mat the insides because it really dresses it up. So we don't do that for every class. About half the classes we double mat and half we don't, just to make them a little, not all the same. So, woohoo is right. So there's our secret C. And what we're going to do is grab May All Your Days Be Merry and Bright from in here. And we'll grab a block and check out what the inside says. And the inside says, Merry Christmas to you and yours. And that's also from this set. Grab that one. And then it looks like we only used 2 ink colors in this entire class. So we have, on this label here, it's just a strip of white. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to get shadows in here or not, but I'm getting right above here. Oh, yep, you still saw me. It's all right. So we got that guy. And then this one, we're going to put this near the top. And this is where you guys can always do whatever you want. If you're not a fan of putting designer paper on your bottoms or anywhere on your insides, it's all right. You could stamp decoration. There's different decorations in here. Not a lot, but there are some of these things that you could stamp on there as well. Okay, so that's what we got for those 2 things. We'll slip those there. Hello, Yvette Smith. Your first live in a while. It sure is. It's good to see you here with us. All right, so we can get a little glue happy. So let's flip these 2 things over. And this, and we might as well do our envelopes because they're here, and this piece fits the whole front flap, which is great. And then we have that piece too. All right, Honey's on the chair. I don't see Bigger Tigger, so let's go for this. Honky Noodle Boy's been sleeping all day down on the couch. He's a snoozer and a half. All right, so there's that one. This was, so that ended up being a little bit bigger than 3/4. So I'm going to hold the phone on that one. So we'll come back over here. Line this. And I know not everybody's a fan of gluing your envelope flaps, and that's okay. I like to do it because I love seeing them in the mail with an envelope flap decorated. All right, so then we got the white piece here, is your mat for the top, and then you have your designer series paper. I don't think there's any direction to this, so you could do top or bottom, however you do it. And then this is, I'm just going to dry fit that. Oh yeah, that's skinnier, so that's fine. So this can go in here like that. Okay, so that's what we had glued set up. I want to go back into this piece right here and cut that at 3/4. It's a little bigger than 3/4, and I think I want it right at 3/4. Again, however you want to do it. If you didn't want to cut another cut on it, you could leave it the way it was. So then this gets glued onto this white piece. I hear a kitten. There is a kitten. Oh, Hunky, hello, buddy. Well, what did I do? I got ink on my... I got ink right there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but yep, I did. There it is. So I have my ink eraser. I have success with ink erasers, so I use them. And I know not everybody feels the same way, but when I use them... Did I get some up there? How did I do that? Okay, well, when I use them, the ink comes off for me. I just go and... I don't know what I did. Okay, but anyways, we got it off. That's what's important. So now we're going to go here, and then that will go right there. So I know it looks like red, white, and blue, but I think it still looks very Christmassy because of the snowflakes versus patriotic, which is, it would be fine if it was patriotic, but we were going for more Christmas themed on these cards. So I'm just going to trim these edges off. Make sure I get a little of this white envelope flap off. So that's ready to go. And then our stocking. So for this, I wouldn't use liquid glue because liquid glue has a tendency of potentially leaving little lines on specialty paper. So in that case, I would use tear-in tape. And that's good because we can get the stocking held back together then. Like that. And we'll put a little right on the stocking toe area. And I always decorate my envelope flip. Just makes them a little more of a happy mail. Yes, I agree 100%. So this needs, you gotta be careful with this because once you start to set it down, it's gonna go, it's not gonna come off very easy because of the tear-in tape. So get that lined up nice. This one, you're gonna use some dimensionals for this. I would run 3 dimensionals right along the back. And that fits right up here on the top of your stocking. And we did pop this up. It looks like it anyways. So we're going to run some more dimensionals behind here. I'm going to try to hit where that tear-in tape is so that it doesn't want to stick flat there. But that looks good. And then that gets hung from your card at the top here. All right. Then this one, what I did for this is I used 2 tear-in tapes that are going to be waiting in the wind. It's Secret C, Lisa. If you're, so definitely I used, where is it even? Right here. So I use Secret C because this paper is Secret C. So I definitely use Secret C. So on this one, you're going to put that tear-in tape through the middle section here. And with your ribbon, you can weave it back because you have the whole roll. So you could do what you want. But I like to make a loop and a tail. And then you have that tear-in tape waiting over here. And then I flip it upside down. And I'm going to make a loop and a tail. And flip that like that. So that's good. And you can make your tails bigger, your loops bigger or smaller, right? So I think on my sample I've got them just a little bit smaller, and that's okay. So we can now flip this over. And I'll put 2 of them closer to the middle area. And then if there's a part that's hanging over the edge, you've already got this popped up. So you really are probably going to want to do a double stuffed Oreo here. So I would put 2 high there. And then that will be nice. On the side here, I think I'm just going to take a chance that it's all right. So I like for this to be straight. If you want to see a little bit more of the star, definitely bring it down a little bit or make a little bit smaller of a bow. Right, so that looks good. And I am going for lined up and lined up here. Now for this guy, I would definitely grab your Stella pen and give that a little Stella action. Like that. And how I would do this is I would put a glue dot right in the middle. I wonder where that one's coming from. Oh, they're above me. That's what's going on. Those are lights above me. Okay, so we're going to put a glue dot right in the middle. And this is going to go the bottom right-hand corner. And then that's planted pretty good, I think. Over here, we've got these guys. They're just tucked in. So you're going to grab, actually, let's move it over a hair. Because then this little guy is going to tuck in here. And then we're going to put the other one below. And I would tuck these in with a glue dot. So bring that like that. And then your next one, the ends look the same to me, so I just picked one side. Hi, Margene Eskelson. And then this one's gonna go right there. Okay. And then you're gonna grab your buttons. Grab one of the white ones. If you want, you can do red, but the red doesn't really look so hot with the cherry cobbler. So we definitely picked the white, and that shores up if you see the poinsettia leaves, this kind of buttons it up. And there we go. Wonderful. So we got a little Stella on there already. So I think that's about it. If you wanted to, if you have a really good clean Stella, you could also Stella this top of the stocking. I think that would be good. Now, if this seems a little loosey-goosey to you, like if that seems good, but if anything here like that seems loose, you could still come back with your glue and shore that up by grabbing it and putting a little dot right underneath. That will help that. Just not too much that it oozes all over the place. There. There we go. We got one ready to go. Inside and out. Good. And we did our matching envelope. So, very good. Wonderful. Okay, so that's the first one. Lickety split, not so bad. Just a little bit of pieces going on. And we'll go to this one. Nope, let's see whatever one is next in our kit here. So, we got this guy good. We'll set him off to the side. And the next one is a Secret C base. So there are two more with Secret C, all right? So it could be one or the other. So this one has this one. So it has the Nested Essential here. So let's take that out of the plastic for us. And we've got our papers already cut. And so let's see what's in here. So we have another one. It's a white mat that we've cut some other circles out of for a previous class, I think. And so we just had some extra white mat. And it worked perfectly with this one. So you've got your Nested Essential die there. And then we have a white mat here for your tree, a white mat for your inside, and a double mat. So we've got our pine for the inside as well. And so what you can do is make sure you get this all shored up and burnish it. So for this, let's do some dry fitting because it's really important to dry fit. If something isn't right, you can always fix it before putting glue. So I'm happy with the margin on that. It's perfect for me. I'm good with it. So the other thing here is let's grab this and make sure that this seems like it's going to dry fit nicely. And it does. If one of these is slightly longer or taller than the other one, you won't necessarily catch it because the ribbon's going to cover it up, but you could also cut that now at this point if you needed to. All right, so we do need to do some gluing. We're going to glue this mat. we have this for our envelope flap. And if you look at this, if we cut that here, we still have glue left. So I think I'm still safe. I'm just going to cut the flap a little bit shorter. And when I look at that, I'm going to be careful. And then here we can glue this one. So let's go crazy here. We'll do this one and the top of this mat so that we don't get risk getting glue through the hole. And then for here, we don't want to do this white ridge here too much. So go right about there. Okay, so that we don't get too close. So this one's first. So that will go onto the white mat. Okay, and then the green, we'll do that one first. That looks nice. The red's going to overlap it slightly. Make sure you have the same margin, top, bottom, and then now the right and the left should match. You can still, with liquid glue, you can still wiggle it a little. And then over here, we're going to get this on. And because, again, the liquid glue, I can finagle it a little bit. Love the blue and silver. I have to give credit where credit is due. I would not have, me personally, would not have thought to use the Lunar Luster paper, which is now gone. I think it's not available anymore, but I'm excited to say there's a new silver paper in the Holiday Mini Catalog, but it was Kelly's idea to use the Lunar Luster. And from the Lunar Luster then, it came out that it looked so great. We loved it. We actually, like, we were in awe of that card. We were so happy with ourselves. But let me just show you this silver paper really quick. There is a card here. This one. So we used the new silvery paper in this card for Halloween. That is part of the escape. This is not the same as Lunar Luster, but it's very close. This one is more of a green gray. Like, it's got a hue of green to it. Or this is more of a silvery gray. But again, it's another nice another nice replacement for the Lunar Luster. Okay, so we need to use some Terran tapes. So grab 4 pieces, and you're going to use 2 of them on here, and you're going to have 2 waiting in the wings, and you're going to need 6 inches of ribbon. You made cards with this set this weekend. Oh, great. It's a fun set to work with. I was a little bit hesitant about it because we didn't know what we were doing for ink, paper, scissors. If you guys remember, I did I polled the audience and I said, what should we do for August ink, paper, scissors? And we were going to do the lilies again. After we did the lily stamp stack, we said, oh, let's maybe do another lily one. And then I know there were suggestions to do the Halloween suite, but I don't have as much success doing Halloween. So we were like, well, what else is there that we haven't used? And this was it. And what's hard is I haven't really done a lot of, I've done Christmas and July classes, but I haven't done Christmas and August classes. So it was like, is it okay to do Christmas in August? And it's like, yeah, people are already starting to do Christmas cards now. So absolutely. Like we talked ourselves into this one, and I'm so happy we did, because otherwise I don't know when we would have featured it. So this is going to get adhered onto here now, which is good. Again, do your dry fittings and all that good stuff first. And then now this one. So I'm trying to get rid of the glares for you guys in case they're annoying to you. So we're going to grab some dimensionals here. And let's work our way around town here. This will just get popped up. And so I am going to put it a little bit north of the equator, meaning the middle, it's north of it, a hair, because we have to leave room for our sentiment and the bow down there. And if we're curious where this is at, it is about 7/8 from the top here. So I'm going to set this where I think it needs to go. And then I'll measure it. Yep, that's like 15/16. So I might just go a hair. just a hair higher. Like that. Okay. Good. Now let's do some stamping. So, 'tis the season to be jolly. Fa la 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 la. Comes from traditional labels. It is still current, and it's what fit in the sentiment. So you guys, if you know me a lot by now, maybe, when we design cards, we got it this far, and then we're like, well, what should we do for a sentiment? And what we do is we go find the label that we like. Okay, we're like, oh, this label looked really nice there. Maybe we should use that. Then we go find the sentiment that fits in it. So we will look all over all the stamps. We generally go for ones that are current. I promise you, we do look for current stamps first. But if we find something that's retired that fits perfectly, we have no shame in using some retired sentiments because, again, they're sentiments. And generally, you would have whatever sentiments you want to use at home. And hopefully, you have sentiments that will fit. So we're going to take this off for now, and we're going to put 'tis the season here. Kimberly is working on her Christmas cards now. Well, great. So for those people that got this class from me, you'll have 4 of them ready to go. Secret C is the ink of choice for this class. So we're going to grab the Secret C here. So what is it? Okay, I lied. You guys, this would work perfectly here. So the reason, I will say this, another reason, we don't like to use the same stamp on all the cards because when you're teaching an in-person class and you have a room full of people and they're all needing the same stamp at the same time, it is chaotic. So I will say that for you guys doing an online class, I don't worry about that so much. In fact, I'm okay with stamping this here, may your days be merry and bright, because now that I see this, it does fit perfectly in here, but we were trying not to use the stamp too much. So, but with you guys, if you have this, go for it, right? So this card had here, and then we used the stamp on the inside of a different card. And then if we would have used it again here, that would be a third card. And if you get if you get 8 to 10 people at a class and 3 groups all need that stamp at the same time, it's not very easy. So that's why we didn't stamp it on this card, right? Which is fine. So now you know what's going on. And you wouldn't even need to worry about having this traditional labels because it's all right. So let's see here. On the inside, what do we have? We have sending warm wishes this Christmas. Perfect. So that is from this. Where did the stamps go? I keep moving things on me. So here's, not here, not here. Where? Oh, here they are. They're upside down next to me in my blocks. So that is from this set. So sending warm wishes. So grab our inside. Matte. You gotta be careful when you use these small paper pumpkin blocks. If you have your fingernails, they get into the ink unless you're holding them off the edge. So sending warm wishes this Christmas. Going uphill. Let's bring it downhill. So it's like they walked uphill both ways in the snowstorm to get to school, right? Let's bring it down a hair. All right, that's good. And then the inside, we also have, oh, we did that. Okay, all right, I remember that. So let's move the ink out of the way. We could glue these 2 things. I hear you, hunky noodle boy. Mom, it's weird you're up here doing a live and not downstairs. You can't turn the water faucet on for me. Yes, I know, hunky. All right, so we're gonna flip this open. Put that here. And put this here. And then this one is flat on the top, popped up on the bottom. So how I would do that is I'd cut, whoa, guess not. I already got those cut. So let's do this one here. Like that. Along the bottom. And then what we'll do is use liquid glue across the top. a little bit right there. Okay. So that kind of lines up with the bottom of the trunk. It should kind of go right to the middle there, and then it should hopefully be centered. All right, so along that bottom, we didn't cut it, but we put a piece of designer paper there. So I like the way that looks, so let's just go through the process of making that happen. The little red pieces are from Designer Series paper that I don't think we used, and we felt obligated to use it, so let's find that. So we got our envelope flap. All right, and then back to our paper here. We have a pile right here. So that green piece, we could use this. This was leftover, so let's grab that. And right here, there was this random piece. It was actually from the piece that we didn't really use, which is way down here. This one. So this piece right here, when you flip it over, you've got these things. So that's what I've got here. And you can take your scissors. They're nice straight lines. So that's a consolation. Now, if you're not a big fan of the fussy cutting, you might just opt to not do this. There's one. And another one. So they have different reds in them. So this one's got red with candy canes. That's red with dots. This one is like a more of a dark burgundy. So find the one that you like if you like this idea. And then you'll need to get your trimmer back out and cut this at 4 inches by 3/4. It's a little taller than 3/4, so if you're good with it the way it is, whatever that piece was, I'm just going to trim it down a hair. All right, so back to this guy. So we have our inside in here glued already, which is fine. This is going to go along the bottom, and then these are going to get poking up. We felt that we needed to use that other piece of DSP, and so this is how we accomplished it, by grabbing some of those little red pieces and putting them on the card. There's that. And then this one tucks in a little behind, and then this one goes over the top at a different type of an angle, like that. There it is. Okay, that's the inside. So we're not done with the outside. What's left for the outside is a bow. It's right here. So let me grab my bow maker. I got a bow maker as a gift from the guy who makes all my bow makers for me. He found some purple heart and he made me this immaculate bow maker. It's amazing. So we have the one ribbon there, but now we just got to make a little bow. So with the bow maker, you're just gonna go around it. This makes the bunny ears, and you go up and over. And then you just tighten it. And then what happens is you pull the nails out, you put the nails back in their home. And so I do have bow makers available. They don't look exactly like this. I saved this one for up here, and I use it when I do lives up here. So now this little bow is going to be right there, and you're going to need your glue dots for it. So if you can get it off of there. And I think what I'm going to do is I am going to take and put it right underneath. So I don't generally put adhesive under ribbon, but I'm going to do it on this one, just so that ribbon stays safe and secure. So we've got the little glue dots going on. Now, if your tails don't go where they want, or where you want them, you're just gonna grab another glue dot here and put that right underneath where that tail's coming out. There it is. Okay. And then trim your tails. Wonderful. Now for this one, you could have, okay, if you have rhinestones at home, or they used to have the red rhinestones, you could add to your tree some ornaments. But what we ended up doing is just grabbing one of the little buttons and we put it at the top of the Christmas tree. So you could try to use a red one, but the red ones are a little more see-through and they get lost in the sauce. So we opted to use the white one because you could see it better. Now again, if you have diamonds or any sort of rhinestones, they had some different rhinestones that were all multicolored. Like, I could definitely see adding some more bling to this card, but because you guys got the buttons, we just opted to put one button up there. The purple heart is pretty. I agree, Debbie. It's a one of a kind. So there we go. We got that one done. So now we have these two cards done, and we've got two more to do. So let's keep her moving. Barbara Gobby likes the double matte inside. Thanks. Very good. All right. So the next card on the pile that is right under the golden ticket. Oh, it's the other blue one. So we've got all the secret C's done now. So let's grab this, and it's going to be this bottom one. Okay. So get that out of plastic. Now this is a card on a card, right? So you have the card, this one, and then you have the card on the inside, which is the sky. Looks like that. Most wonderful time of the year. Okay, so you have a green old olive mat, which goes underneath the designer paper. So again, eyeball it, because you cut the designer paper, you might want it a little different, right? So there's that mat. And then you have these pieces. This is your little card that goes on the top. You're gonna need to burnish that. And there's a little red piece that goes here, and then the designer paper goes next, so that's good. There's one more mat here, the secret C mat, which goes next. Good deal. All right, so that looks nice. You have a little strip here for a sentiment, and then this is the white piece for on the inside of the little card. This is the white piece for on the inside of the big card. It gets matted onto old olive, and it'll go like that. Perfect. Okay. I think we might as well glue a little bit, because there's a lot of pieces going on, and I just love to get glue happy right away, as long as I can get glue happy. So we're not going to glue along the way bottom edge, but this can get glued. This one is going to get glued. All of this and this. Okay, you guys are ready for it? Let's get it done. So, lots of paper, okay? So we're gonna have our designer paper can get glued. This mat will get glued. The back of the little baby card. This goes on the inside. That. And let's do this. Just don't get too close. Okay, ready for it? First things first, let's do this one. It goes onto our card base. And then we've got our designer paper. So I do look at things when I glue them. And this one had a more red border, where this had a half a white cut. So I put that towards the bottom so it's less obvious. Okay. Then this goes down on this front. It is north of the equator, and what I did is I found these two lines up here and I put it right below the second one, centered left to right. Excuse me. And then you've got about 3 lines down there, something like this. Looks good to me. All right, then you can put, oh, I lied. You gotta put the glue, you gotta put the blue down first. Okay, then this layer. Very good. Okay, almost. See, that's the great thing about liquid glue. You can pull it right off and back in business. Okay, then that's the little card. And then this red goes on. And then our designer paper goes next. Make sure you get that bird. It's either a gray bird or a cardinal. That, and then let's do this one. Like that. And then our inside next. Perfect. Okay. Okay, that was a lot of pieces, and I feel like there's some glue on there. All right, so let's grab our scissors and let's cut this like this. And we'll have this envelope flap ready to go. All right, so then what we have left is some stamping. We've got 3 things to stamp. We have our inside, which it says merry and bright. And we also have the little triangle-y thing. Let's just say it's a triangle. It's okay, we can call it a triangle. And then bright Christmas wishes. So we need we pulled in pretty poinsettia. That's where we got the merry and bright. Oh, Becky Gandolfo. Why did you say no? I don't know why you said no. And Debbie said, color your rhinestones with your blends. Yes, you could definitely do that. Absolutely. Definitely. But I really think on that last card, like we didn't provide them because we gave you guys the buttons, but if you have your rhinestones, you could color them or put rhinestones on there. It would be really pretty. All right, so we've got this. And then on the inside, most wonderful time of the year. So it says bright Christmas wishes. I really wanted to say it's the most wonderful time of the year, but it doesn't. So what we'll put on here is, I think I might change it up and not put that because I can. It's whatever words I want. So I have bright Christmas wishes, and then we have on the inside merry and bright. And then what we could do is pull in Merry Christmas to you and yours, since that's already on a block. I like that. So we need the Secret C ink, right? Secret C ink is getting the workout. It's getting the MVP award tonight. So we need gluing all the pieces at the same time was impressive. Okay, so that's maybe why Becky said no. Maybe I was freaking her out. Sorry, Becky. The cat didn't jump up here, so life was all right. So you know what I'm going to do? I actually am going to do the red first, because I think once I do the red, everything will be centered better. So you're going to take one of the little triangles, and it's going to go there. The great thing about the photopolymer is if you don't see ink on the stamp properly, like I just saw that and I went back for more ink, and there I see a line through it, you can always go back and re-ink it up. Okay, so that's good. And then we need this piece right here. There, so that is all the little triangle. I think that's it for the real red too. So now let's go back to this guy. So we have here, because you started to pick up the wrong piece of square to put it down. Oh, so that's, yeah, so you caught me doing it wrong. So good job. All right, I'm glad you caught me as well. Maybe you were sending me the wavelengths that say, don't do it, don't do it. And then I caught it. So we've got Merry and Bright there. And then we're gonna do Merry Christmas to you and yours. There. And then we've got Bright Christmas Wishes. And he's a long, skinny one. So let's grab this block. I only have one of these blocks up here, and I like that for the long, skinny words. This one's hard. You gotta make sure that that gets on the block straight because it's going downhill. There. So you have that little skinny sentiment strip. It's just a 1/2 inch. I'm gonna stamp it closer to the left so that I can angle the right side. So that's it for this one, for Secret C. So grab your scissors. You can trim that guy. And then this can get glued in. I think this can get glued in. So let's do both those. Well, I will say it takes a lot of work to open a glue bottle. If you have to do it every single time you glue a piece of paper, I wouldn't have, I would lose days of my life, I think. So if I can be efficient with my gluing, that's what it's all about. All right, so there's a little baby inside. And then here's our regular inside. Right there's good. Now let's go to this. So we're gonna need our tear and tape. We need 2 of them. So we'll have 1 and 1 waiting in the wings. So this is over here, and it's underneath the HTCH. And you can do it how you want. I feel like we did a bow on the last one, and then the first one was a loop tail, loop tail. We were trying to do something different with this, so we made 2 tails on the bottom and 2 loops on the top. But like if you, it was different. It was neat. I kind of like the look of making a bow. So I'm actually going to do this one. I'm going to do a loop like this. Well, I can't have it hanging out the bottom. So I'm going to make a loop. Okay, I know why we did it this way. We were trying to figure out how to fit a button on here. And if we had a bow, it didn't look quite right because where would you put the button? You weren't going to put the button on the top and the bottom. So what we decided to do is make it look like 2 bunny ears on the top, like that. And then we brought that across the bottom. And trim that tail. And on this side, add another one, like that. And then your tear and tape can go across the back. So we did it like that so that there was a spot to put a button. Now, did I make it big enough? You gotta make sure you have your Humpty Humps big enough. So this is gonna go on here and it will get popped up with dimensionals. Let's say 3 will work. And got it so that you see the red down here, but not the designer paper, but you could bring it up a hair to see the designer paper, that would work. And then I would definitely Stella whatever bird you have in the middle here. You can Stella your trees. And whatever quilty pattern pieces you have that you want to Stella. Okay. Now for the button, we went for the white one again. And we put it right in between the 2 bunny ears. And as Kelly would say, voila! Got the card on a card. Perfect. Love it. So we did done good. Now we have one last one to put together for tonight. Oop, I did do that backwards. So you guys, we never glue our insides in because when we teach in-person classes, people don't have to open the cards and take them out of the plastic and get ink and chamois juice all over them. So that's why we never glue our insides in case you're wondering. All right, so now we've got that one done. Got the tree and we got the stocking. The last one brings all 4 things together on your quilt. Let's try not to lose anything. So this will be the last kit that you have. has the red bottom. Oops, see, stuff falls out as you open it, so just be careful with that. And for this guy's done. And the last card is right here. Okay. So you have, this is for your envelope flap. And in here, you have your base. So make sure you get that burnished. Okay. So you have an old olive piece that has a die cut that wasn't even for this class. We're strategic about our labels, that if we have a big enough label, we'll cut it out of a mat, and then we'll hopefully use the mat sometime in the future. And that's exactly what we did here. This got cut from a different class, actually. And so then we have this piece that's going to go here. And now here you have a secret C with a red. And then you have your 2 mats for the inside. And then you have a little poinsettia and then the 2 holly leaves. You have a little stylish shape die cut, and then you have your 4 pieces that you cut. So what I would do is just map these out. Before you get glue happy, just make sure that they fit the way you want them to, right? Because at this point, if you want to, you could trim the blue and the red. And I might just do that. So if I'm looking at this, and my margin is, that looks good on this side. But over here, I feel like there's just a hair extra. Be rather a hair big than a hair small, but I feel like that right side could get a hair cut off of it. If I don't want to cut it off, I would just equally space everything. But I think that I put that here, I put this one here, I want a little bit cut off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip these this way, and I'm going to put glue on them. And I'm going to glue these 2 things because there's no ribbon that goes behind these 2 things. Okay, and then these 2. So we're going to put you there. I'm going for the same margin on the top and the side. And now what I'm going to do is go for the same margin in the middle and the top. And I'm going to grab my trimmer and trim that a little bit once I got the other 2 glued. And then this will go there. And this one here. Okay, now let's flip these and glue them. So the side, the middle, and the bottom look great to me. And then I'm going to make sure my tree and my middle and my bottom are good. And now I'll bring out my trimmer and take off a little bit. And now, to me, that looks even. Now I can dry fit that on here. And actually, I think it could work just like it is. I'm all right with that. So I don't even need to trim the red, but if the red was a little big, I would trim the red too. But it looks like it's good to me. So now what we're gonna do is flip this over. And goes on here. And then grab your dimensionals. And then that's going to get popped up. It goes on the card front here. It's centered left to right, and it looks pretty much in the middle. We'll do that. Like that. All right, then let's do some, let's glue this yet. It looks like it's the right width. that. All right, so finding a small sentiment for on here was a little bit different, or a little difficult, I should say, because it's really little. And there's a new one that's called something Christmas Soiree, or Soiree Christmas, or Soiree Wishes, but they were long and a little bit skinny. This one we wanted a short, skinny sentiment. And we looked and we looked and we looked and we couldn't really find anything that was current that we could find. And maybe we missed it and we overlooked it, but all of a sudden I went to go look through for that traditional labels stamp set that we used on the earlier card, but we didn't use it tonight. And I found a different sentiment that I thought could work, and it is sending warm hugs, which is great, we thought. So that's why we went with it. So it comes from a set that's called Snowflake Kisses. It came out in last holiday's mini catalog, but it has here sending warm hugs, and it has lots of love, it has happy winter. So a lot of these smaller ones, and so we opted to go for this one because it fit in here perfectly. And it uses the Secrecy ink again. Again, we said it got the MVP award tonight. So when you stamp it though, you wanna make sure you stamp it a little to the right because the little poinsettia thing goes on the left. So again, a little to the right, like that, okay? And then on the inside for this one, what did we put? Oh, okay, that works, okay, Christmas Joy. So Christmas Joy comes from the pretty poinsettia. So in case you have that and you want to use it, there's this Christmas Joy. Perfectly fine if you want it and you have it. Otherwise, so it says sending warm hugs. We could put Merry Christmas to you and yours, or sending warm wishes this Christmas, but then we've got warm wishes and warm hugs. So I don't know. That's a lot of warmness going on, which is great because I'm always cold, but I feel like I want to not use the word warm on both of them. So I think I'll opt to go right here to Merry Christmas to you and yours. So that would finish off the Inky Dinky Do Time. And we could glue both these in. And before I do that, let me just see this little guy. So I wanted to dry fit it. It is just a hair shorter than this piece by a little bit. So I think what I'll do is trim off that. And now that fits on there perfectly. So it was just a hair. Hi, Elaine Reback. Better late than never. So let's glue these few things down. Again, if anybody like Elaine is joining late and you're seeing this and you didn't happen to get the class and you're seeing it and you love it and you want to get it, I've got about 20 of them available, and you can reach out to me via my email, which is right there. Let me know you're interested, and I can either add it to your September class package if you get one, if you're not in a hurry for it, or if you want it right away, we can definitely make that happen too. So we're gonna put this one down here, and you're gonna see the little bit of old olive around the border. And then the other thing on here we did is we got those little guys again because we felt like we needed to use that piece of designer paper. So that was this guy. And so we'll just cut a couple of these out and add them to the inside. It's nice because they are straight lines. If they were all curved, it would be a little bit harder, but nice straight lines. You get that scissors lined up. Keep it straight. Okay, so for this, remember they were flat because they're on the inside. I like flat things on the inside. One was tucked underneath that strip, and one was on top. So we're gonna tuck this one underneath And that one can go on top. So yeah, some just different decoration on the inside. And then for this is popped up. And the bottom needs dimensionals and the top doesn't. So if you have your sheet of dimensionals, this will be perfect along this edge here. If you take this and put this along the bottom, and then if you put a little line of glue along the top, that will connect the two pieces together. You don't want to cover up too much of your tree, but a little bit might be okay. And we've got that just like that. And you've got these last little pieces, and we get to make a bow yet. And then we're almost done with this one. Get rid of this stuff. All right, so might as well Stella these because they look nicer stellaed. And then I would take a glue dot like we did on that last card. Put that right in the middle. That one. That, okay. So you've got that open white space there. So that's where this is going to nestle. And then we've got a little holly leaf coming up that way, or a poinsettia leaf, whatever you want to call it. And we'll put this guy coming out there. And then another white button was right in the middle. Just like that. Okay, and then we get to make one more bow for class tonight. Thanks, Cindy Runtree. Glad you like them. So we can figure out it's a little bit bigger than that, but I feel like if I do, oh, we'll just go that big. Okay, so grab your red ribbon. Oh, that's a really big bow. Maybe we'll go that size. Yeah, it's a big present. So it's a double bow. So you go around it twice. And then cross over. And then go up and over. Back at you. You make your overhand knot. Like that. Okay, and then we'll take the bow off. Put our nails away. And tuck you back in. And for this one, I'd also use some glue dots. So I'll put one way at the top there. And I'm going to put another one right next to it. And another one right next to that. So we've got 3 across here. And find the front of the bow, which generally is not the back side where you knotted it. And then I'm going to put that right into those glue dots. Fluff up my bows, my bunny ears. Okay, and then trim your tails to your desired length and make it look like it's a present. And then you've got your matching envelope and life is good. Okay, voila. So we got all 4 cards made, and I think that they went pretty smoothly. So let's pull them all back in, and you can tell me which ones you're liking the best. And so we've got the last one that we made. We've got our tree. I think my mom would like this one the best. She loves trees a lot. And then we made the stocking first. And then we have our card on a card. So we did it. We did it. So let me see. Oh man. Oh, it's a trick question because I don't think that any one of them looks better than the other one. I honestly, sometimes I can pick, but I don't know if I could really pick. These three are very cohesive. They have the same kind of feel, and then that one's different, but that's what makes that one so unique, is that it is so different. We got to pull in the dies for that one. So I showed off these dies a little bit earlier. That's where the stocking comes from. That's where that little poinsettia comes from. So, and the little leaves are super cool. So I don't know. I love the tree. I love the 4 little pieces together, and I love the card on the card with the bird. So, and you guys say you love them all. All the cards, all the cards. These are all beautiful. Hi, Cindy from Texas, by the way. All right, so we did it. Okay. La la ya. So we did feature a couple different stamp sets in here. Again, primarily just for words. So we did pull in the pretty poinsettia. We did use on the sample cards Christmas Joy and Most Wonderful Time of the Year, and Bright Christmas Wishes came from here too. So that one is part of the September through December mini catalog. So if you're a demonstrator, you can pre-order for that now. And if you're not a demonstrator, you can start ordering out of that catalog on September 1st. So add it to your wish list. We did pull in a retired set called Snowflake Kisses, just to get one little sentiment. And then we also pulled in from the actual set that we're featuring tonight, is where we pulled in the bulk of the stamping. And so those guys, I don't know where they went. Oh, right here, perfect. So we had some of the words, and then just the triangle, but lots of versatile words in here. And Barbara says she likes, oh, she can't just pick one. That's exactly how I feel too, Barbara. So this, and it's the hardest thing, putting these back where they belong. So I'm gonna guess. I know some of you say to highlight or like draw with a marker around it. I should do that, but that takes time. And we're in design mode right now. But what I found myself doing is I go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, and then I look 13. So I do a check, discount double check. And then we also pulled in traditional labels for 'Tis the Season, but again, may all your days be merry and bright fit perfectly here too. So, like it. Oh man, I thought I stamped the same sentiment on it, but it's sending warm wishes this Christmas. It's really cool because the fonts match. That's neat. All right, there you have it. Lickety split. Abby says that they are all great, but she likes the stocking and the last one as her favorites. Very good. Like it, and Bridget loves them all. Good deal. Joanne Kahn, hello, my friend. You'll take a kit. Awesome. Still recovering from your double. I was thinking of you. I know you had your double back surgery. I was hoping all is well and that you're happily healing. And I will make a note, Joanne, that you'd like one of these guys. Perfect. So, Joanne, the other thing that we're going to be working on is we're going to be prepping for the Designer Series paper sampler, the September through December plus the online exclusives. We're going to be starting to kit them up in the next week or two, and I should have them ready by early September. So if you're good with it, what we can do is ship this class with your DSP sampler, because I know you'll want the DSP sampler because you haven't missed one for a long time. So I think if you're good with that, you can just tell me yes or no. And if you want to just text me, you can text me that too. So wonderful. Okay, let me grab my book. And for those of you who also joined late, if you catch me after class and go to the replay, I showed off all the escape cards that are coming up, and I showed off 3 of the Paper Palooza cards. So we're thick in the designing process. And the other thing I need to note for everybody, there were 16 of you who got the Summer Palooza from me that were waiting on the Velvet Meadow designer paper. And I'm happy to report that designer paper should be arriving any day now. And so I will make sure to include that in your September kits as well. So that's perfect. All right, so let me get here to class. That's okay, perfect. I saw your response, Joanne. That too, perfect. Okay, so let me grab my phone, and we are going to add Joanne's name for class tonight. And we're gonna pull in my cell phone. Big boy! Hello, handsome kitten. There he is. He's coming this way. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Hi, Bigger Tigger. Finally gracing us with your presence, aren't you, kitten? Mom, it's so bright in here. Why do you have the lights on so high? I was just taking a nap and it hurts my eyes. That's how Bigger Tigger sounds. Sorry. He sounds kind of like blah. he should sound more handsome, right? Yes. Okay, random number generator, and we're going to put in 54. So, are you ready, Bigger Tigger? Where are you going, buddy? Oh, that's where he goes. He is 1 axe handle wide, is what Grandma Diane says. But he will sit there. Well, so Diane will sit here and design, where I'm sitting, then she just turns this way. And I sit over there on the other side, and Bigger Tigger sits right there. And eventually, he takes over the whole space there, and you got to move all that stuff off the table because he thinks that he owns this joint. All right, so we have here 54. Number 25. Let's see here. Oh, that pencil's not even sharpened. Maybe this one is. Oh, man, just barely. Okay, 25 is Linda Rios. All right, and then number 39 is Susan Devine. Wonderful. Okay, so it is on my to-do list. You guys, I do make things up. So, or not like imagine things. Not making things up, but I catch up, let's say. So I've been doing these random number generators for all year long. And so I've got lots of cards that are going to be made up to people here in a bit. You're going to be happy. All of a sudden, you're going to have some happy mail. If your name has been read off for winning something, I make things up. So, or I should say catch things up. So, all right. So congratulations to Susan Devine and who, oh my goodness, I already forgot. I had it and then I thought about the next thing. Okay, you guys, that's what happens. Linda Rios. Yes, Linda Rios and Susan Devine. Yay, congratulations. All right. Oh, Bridget Rowe wants a kit. Oh, congrats to the, oh yeah, I would like a kit, Bridget Rowe. Okay, Bridget, you know what I'm going to do, Bridget? I'm just going to put your name right in my book right away because as long as I got you in the book, that's the most important part. So then I'll make sure to save you a kit. And then you can always follow up with, I'm doing the September class registration form. I'm going to be making that this week. So when you fill out that, you can always add it there as a past class. And then you can also just message me and tell me if you want it mailed or held for your September package. So, and Becky can't wait for the showcase. Yay. And we got everything all prepped and ready to go. And Becky also wants a DSP sampler. Perfect. And Becky, the other thing that you always get is the product share. So I will pencil you in for that as long as you're good with that. So I'm going to be working on pulling all the product share and the suite share information. So we've got the DSP sampler already emailed, and that's in the works for people that they can start registering. But there will be a product share where you could pick the ribbon, the gems, the ribbon, the gems, or the designer paper. Or there's also a suite share, and you could pick suite shares too. So just know that that stuff is coming down the pipeline this week. And by the time I have the class registration form ready, those things will be included in it, as will the Palooza and the Escape and the Paper Pumpkin classes. All of that will be part of this registration. It is going to be, just so you guys know, September is going to be a Mac Daddy registration form. So there's a lot that's going on. So yeah, a lot. So, all right. Chris can't decide on her favorite. Each are fun and make you smile. Good. And he is a wide body. Yeah, Lori. He's my handsome big man. Yeah, he's the king of the castle around here. He knows it. What time is the showcase? Donna Grushi is 4 Central. So for you in Michigan, it'll be at 5 p.m. Okay. So, so it's 4 Central, 5 Eastern, and that must mean it's 3 Mountain, and then Pacific time is 2. But yes, he is my bigger boy. He's amazing. So I think what I'll do is I'll show you guys too a little bit of in the works. Yes, you want the product shares too. Perfect. All right. Well, definitely I'll set you up for that. Now that I'm done with class, in case I lose the connection, I'm okay with it, but I like to kind of show you what's going on. So I'm going to take you guys off of the hook here, or like disconnect you, and take this, and let's flip this around. I'm going to show you what we're working on for the Palooza. And I'm going to switch this over to so that you can see Honey here in my chair. Right here. Okay. So there's Honey. That's where she's been sleeping all class, right? The next card that we're going to work on tomorrow is this one with the Violet Dreams. And then these are the wreaths that I was talking about. So we come over here. Those were the escape cards. Here's my kit. See, this kitten takes up the whole entire camera. He is my bigger boy. Come on, bigger Tigger. You want to say hi to everybody? Hi, I'm so cute. Yep, we know. So then over here, this is everything that we've got staged for tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Well, some of it tomorrow, and then next week, Monday and Tuesday. But we have all the different designer papers. They're laid out, and we're in design mode now. And we laid out ribbons, and there's a lot of wreaths. So you guys, I hope you don't mind wreaths, because each one of these has a different wreath on it. And so we've laid out all the different paper that was launched between July and September, and we're starting, and this is for the Palooza now. So we'll put a wreath with each one of these cards and have a different layout. So they're not all going to look the same. They're all going to be like somewhat different. And so, but some are Christmassy, some are going to be fall, some are not going to have wreaths on them. Like we're doing a Halloween card, so it's not going to have that on it. But yeah, so this is what we start to do. And then after we get done designing, don't get dizzy. I'm going to turn around here and show you the back counter over here. So then what we do after we're done designing is we start prepping. And so this is all starting to prep for the autumn escape. So we've got all bases and mats and all that kind of cut. And all the cards that I just showed you were all laid up across here. And then I line it up all the way over to here. And yeah, and then that's the end of the escape cards. And these were the start of the Palooza cards. So little by little, then as stuff gets designed, we pull out the cardstock and we start scoring, we start cutting, we start going to town. So yay. All right. So that's a little tour of what's going on. And up here is where we do all of the designing. So I don't generally design downstairs in the hive. We have classes down. I shouldn't say we just. Oh, hang on. We design up here, and we prep up here, and then we kit downstairs in the hive, and we have classes down there, and then I do most of my lives I do down there. But every now and then I have to do one up here, and that's okay, because when we designed this room 2 years ago, we designed it so that there would be a filming station up here so that we could have in-person classes down there at the same time that I'm having class up here. Go team. That's how we roll around here. So, all right. Thanks, Cindy. And I think that's it. So you guys, I had mentioned earlier about what's coming up this week. So I think the next time I'll see you guys on a live will be on Wednesday at 2 o'clock for Share, Create, Inspire. And then for my team, don't forget we have a team Zoom at 10 o'clock to go over strategizing and planning all of our levels of the Be Happy Stampers and staying connected. So we're going to have the leaders meet. Anybody who wants to be on the Zoom can be on the Zoom for the team, though. So it's not anybody who just has a team. It's whoever wants to be on it. Wants to be part of the planning strategy. I'll take everybody. So, all right. And then I think that's all I can remember. Thursday, then the showcase. So all good. All right. You guys have a good night. Thanks for being with me for class tonight. I really appreciate it. I hope you learned something and enjoyed making the cards with me. Lots of sunshine, love, and big hugs to you. Bye.